Okay, imagine this. You've poured resources into big data. Apache Spark is running, powering your AI dreams. Looks great, right?
Seems like the perfect picture.
Until the cloud bills land.
Yeah.
And they're huge, way bigger than expected.
Oof. Yeah. That hits home for a lot of folks.
And then maybe your compliance team starts raising flags. Risks hidden in the data pipelines. Sound familiar?
It really does. It's a super common scenario these days. Everyone's rushing towards AI, towards digital transformation.
And Spark is amazing for that, no question. It's incredibly powerful for real-time analytics, machine learning at scale.
It really is the engine for so many advanced capabilities. The speed, the scalability, it's why it's so popular.
But that speed, that ease of scaling, that's also where the danger lies, isn't it?
Exactly. It can hide some pretty massive costs and governance gaps if you're not careful.
And for the leaders listening, CEOs, CIOs, CTOs,
Yeah.
CFOs, this matters
Yeah.
a lot. We're talking operational efficiency, financial control, compliance.
Yeah. The stakes are incredibly high. Your organization's trust factor is on the line, too.
So that's what this deep dive is all about. We want to explore how you, as leaders, can steer your Spark initiative successfully.
Right. Avoiding those ballooning costs and, frankly, scary governance problems.
We'll unpack the critical things you need to focus on to make Spark work sustainably.
Let's get into it.
All right, so when we boiled it down, there seemed to be two sort of core imperatives for mastering Spark in the enterprise.
Two big ones.
First, getting those costs under control, seriously reining them in.
And second, really strengthening your data governance, making it robust.
And, these two are linked. You can't really fix one without thinking about the other.
Absolutely intertwined. So let's start with cost. Spark, especially in the cloud, can be deceptively expensive.
Deceptively, yeah. How so? Where do these costs hide?
Well, it's often not just the obvious stuff like how long a cluster is running. It's inefficient code, maybe.
Code that chews up more resources than it needs to.
Exactly. Or unnecessary data movement, maybe across regions, racking up egress fees you didn't expect. And over-provisioning is a big one. Clusters sized way too large, just sitting idle.
Burning money while doing nothing.
Pretty much. And maybe the worst, those forgotten jobs. Someone spins up a test cluster, forgets to turn it off.
Right. The zombie jobs?
Yeah, they just keep running, quietly draining the budget. It's like a slow leak.
Okay, so for a leader, maybe not deep in the code daily, how do they tackle this? What's action number one for cost control?
Visibility. Simple as that. You absolutely have to see what you're spending and where.
So tools, like the cloud providers' cost dashboards.
Those are essential, yes. AWS Cost Explorer, Azure Cost Management, Google Billing, foundational. But you often need more Spark-specific granularity.
Breaking it down further.
Yeah, break it down by job, by user, by project or department. Get that detailed view.
Makes sense. See the cost? Then what? Accountability.
Spot on. You need accountability. Mandatory resource tagging is crucial.
So tagging everything. Every job, every resource.
Everything. Link it to a project, a team, a cost center. It sounds basic, but it's vital for tracking and for having those data-driven conversations about who's spending what and why.
Okay, visibility, accountability.
Yeah.
What about actually reducing the spend? Efficiency.
Yes, continuous efficiency efforts. This isn't a one-and-done thing. Regular performance audits are key.
Using Spark's own tool.
Yeah, use Spark's metrics, its UI, monitoring dashboards, hunt for inefficiencies, things like data skew, too much shuffling, memory issues. They all cost money.
So it's like detective work for budget leaks.
Exactly. Be a cost detective, find those bottlenecks, tune the jobs. Small tweaks on frequent jobs can save huge amounts over time. I've seen it happen.
Right, finding those hidden inefficiencies pays off.
Okay, that covers the cost side. Let's pivot to the second imperative, governance.
Right, governance, which in this age of AI and data-driven everything feels, well, non-negotiable.
It really is. Poor governance isn't just risky anymore, it's kind of unacceptable.
And the consequences.
Yeah.
They're more than just fines, right? Though things like GDPR, HIPAA, SOX are serious.
Oh, absolutely. Fines are bad, sure. But the deeper issue is erosion of trust.
Trust in the data itself.
Exactly. If you can't trust your data, its quality, its lineage, who's accessed it, then what good is it? Your AI models, your BI reports, your strategic decisions, they're all built on shaky ground.
Okay, that's a powerful point. It undermines everything.
It really does. You lose confidence internally. You slow down innovation. It's corrosive.
So what are the concrete actions leaders need to push for? How do you build trustworthy, compliant Spark pipelines?
First, clear ownership. Who owns this data set? Who's responsible for its quality, its security, needs to be defined.
Accountability again, but for the data itself.
Precisely. And alongside that, embed quality checks directly into the pipelines, automated checks.
So quality isn't an afterthought, it's part of the process.
Has to be. From ingestion onwards. Non-negotiable.
And how do you maintain that trust and understanding as data moves through complex Spark jobs?
Metadata management. Robust metadata. It's the data about the data.
Lineage, schema, source,
Yeah.
all that context.
Yes. Enforce its capture. You need to know where data came from, how it was transformed, who's using it. It's crucial for compliance, for debugging, for everything.
And security. Obviously critical.
Absolutely. Integrate Spark tightly with your enterprise security frameworks. Consistent policies, encryption, fine-grained access control. It needs to meet those compliance standards like GDPR and the others.
Okay, this leads to an interesting point you raised earlier, the value of bringing in specialized expertise.
Right. Investing in expert consultants or dedicated Spark talent.
You mentioned the ROI can be significant, way more than just their cost. Why is that?
Well, these folks bring deep, often scarce skills. They're the specialists, the detectives we talked about, but for both cost and governance.
So they can find things internal teams might miss.
Often, yes. They can accelerate optimization, harden security, implement best practices much faster. They know the specific tuning tricks, the governance patterns.
So that frees up your internal teams.
Exactly. Lets your data engineers and scientists focus on building new value, on innovation, knowing the platform underneath is solid, efficient, and compliant. It's a force multiplier.
So bringing this all together for enterprise leaders listening,
Yeah.
what's the practical takeaway? It sounds like more than just tech.
It's definitely cultural. Leaders need to foster a culture where cost visibility and strong governance aren't optional extras. They have to be baked in.
Baked in from the start of every project.
From day one, maybe that means bringing in experts for an initial assessment, for training, setting up the right processes and tools. It's an ongoing commitment.
And for the data professionals out there, what's the career angle on mastering cost and governance?
Oh, it's huge. It's career gold, honestly.
Really? Why so valuable?
Because professionals who can build powerful and efficient, secure, compliant systems are in massive demand. It sets you up for roles like principal engineer, platform architect, leadership roles.
Especially in regulated industries.
Absolutely. Finance, healthcare, government. They need people with these skills. It makes you indispensable.
So it really comes down to that dual focus, doesn't it? Performance and responsibility.
That's the key differentiator. Thriving organizations nail both. Those struggling are often weak on one or both.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive today, the big takeaway.
Apache Spark is incredibly powerful, transformative tech, no doubt.
What?
But without keeping a really sharp eye on both cost and governance continuously, that power can become a massive liability.
It can undermine your whole data strategy.
Easily.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. Take a moment and think about your own organization. Where might your Spark setups be leaking money silently?
Or where might there be hidden governance risks? Things that could bite you later.
Think about how integrating cost control and solid governance from the very start could change things. Not as cleanup, but as a core principle.
What's one small step you could take, maybe even this week, to get a clearer picture of either costs or governance in your Spark world?
Stay sharp, stay strategic.
And keep your Spark running smart.